What made the mom friend become the villain? I always thought I was the mom friend. You know, the one who carries snacks in their bag, has band-aids just in case, and texts, "Let me know you got home safe." There was Emily, who was always in charge. Kai, who was always getting into trouble. Mia, quiet, sarcastic, and dressed in black most days. I covered for them whenever something came up. I thought that's what friends did for each other. I didn't keep score. Every Saturday we would hang out, but they would always explain how they couldn't host because of size problems, technical issues, etc. I liked hosting. I'd make coffee and set out snacks. The three of them would be late and immediately start eating. I noticed Emily forgot her wallet a lot. Kai never gave me gas money when I drove him places. Mia used my Netflix so much that all my recommended shows turned into crime documentaries. They'd do the same for me. One week, Emily had an idea. "We should take a weekend trip." I smiled instantly. "I'm in." "Great," she said. "You can book everything, right?" I didn't even think twice. I liked making sure everything was planned. 2 days later, my phone was blowing up with requests. Kai asked, "Hey, can you drive us? Your car's bigger." Emily was next with, "Oh, and you'll need to pay the Airbnb deposit. Easier for one person to do it, and we can definitely pay you back if you want." "Mia, you should bring your coffee maker. The Airbnb doesn't have one." By the end of the week, my to-do list looked like I was running a hotel. The night before we left, my kitchen looked like a grocery store exploded. I told myself they just trusted me to take care of things. They'd pay me back for sure. The trip started fine. I drove the whole way while they napped or scrolled on their phones. I bought snacks or drinks for everyone. When we got to the Airbnb, they claimed the best bedrooms while I got the tiny one with a bed that squeaked every time I moved. By the second night, I was worn out. I'd done the cooking, the cleaning, and all the driving. I ran a bubble bath and tried to relax. Through the thin walls, I heard Emily's voice. "She's basically our group servant. It's perfect. She does all the boring stuff and actually enjoys it." Kai laughed so hard he choked. "Yeah, it's like having a free Airbnb host." Mia's voice was quiet. "I don't know why she puts up with it, but hey, works for us." I was under the warm water, but my whole body felt cold. I stayed in that bath until the water went cold too. The next morning, all three of them were waiting for breakfast. "So," I said, "how's it feel having your own personal group servant?" The room went still. Emily blinked. "Oh my god, you heard that?" "Babe, we were joking." "Joking?" I asked. "You mean the part where I do all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the driving, pay for everything, and you laugh about it behind my back? From where I'm standing, I've basically been your maid and personal ATM. You've been treating me like I'm lucky to be here." Emily leaned back in her chair. "Wow, you're making this about money?" "No, Emily," I said, my voice low but sharp. "I'm making this about respect." Mia opened her mouth, but I cut her off. "I'm done. You can clean up your own mess and figure out how to get home." They all stared at me. "You're not serious," Emily said, smiling nervously. I grabbed my bag and keys, dead serious. I drove straight to a cheap motel, checked in, and blocked all three of them on everything. From what I later heard, they sat there in the Airbnb's living room, waiting for me to come back. Emily insisted I'd cool off and return, but hours passed. They were in the middle of nowhere. The only ride they could find was some premium service that cost nearly $300 just to get them back to the city. Once they got to town, each of them had to shell out even more for separate rides home. They had left the Airbnb in a rush. The host later charged them an extra $150 deep cleaning fee for the dirty dishes, overflowing trash, and food left on the counters. That night, Emily called from a new number, her voice suddenly sweet. "Hey, can we just talk? We really need you to." I hung up before she finished. I started getting texts from the group with new numbers. "It's not the same without you." And, "Can you just come back, please?" I didn't answer any of them. By the end of the week, I heard through a mutual acquaintance that Emily had been complaining about how expensive the trip ended up being. Kai had to take the bus to work because no one was driving him anymore. And Mia's Netflix binging had stopped cold since she'd lost my password.